Live. Good afternoon, good morning. Hope everyone's having a great day. Today I am here with Pat, and it looks like we're live right now. I'm just double checking. Hey, Pat, how you doing today?
Good, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, awesome. And I always love bringing people that have like, not only does he have a YouTube channel, but he has like videos that make sense that it actually helps people in IT. So, for everyone watching here, like, Pat, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Introduce yourself.
Yeah, most definitely. And thanks, Kevin, again. Thank you so much for having me on. And a little bit about me, like my background is a little unique than a lot of people in IT from what I gathered and from people I conversed with over the years. I'm originally from the Northeast. I'm from New York originally. I live in the South now in Florida. Um, I grew up very street kid, play hockey, play baseball, um, play wiffle ball. I don't know if you guys even know wiffle ball, stick ball, handball, all these things that we do back home. And maybe Kevin knows I play a lot of Scully. I don't know how old you are, but Scully's a thing in New York that you have something in the street, you have boards, and you melt wax into a bottle cap. It's a unique game back from where I'm from. So that's what I did my whole life, until about 17 years old. You know, I never was into computers. I never owned a computer. I never liked computers until, to be 100% honest, I still don't. That's just between us, right? I never played a video game in my life till today. Never been into it. I don't think I'll ever be into it. But the way I got into IT, it's a very unique situation. I'm a big sneakerhead. I have about 300 pairs of sneakers, and like big into Jordans, all the New York kind of things, right? And I used to sell, buy them for when they released like the new retro, for an example, and buy them for like 180, 210, sit on them for like a month, sell them for 300, 350 on like eBay or eBay or any of these kind of StockX, if you guys know about those. And that's what I did for a long time. And then I got my PayPal hacked in my early 20s. And I was intrigued, like, how did this money go from here to Algeria? You know, and this is, we'll get technical in a little bit, but then it was really interesting to me, like, how did this money go from here to there? And I was like, and I was studying multimedia because I skateboarded my whole life, right? I don't really skate so much anymore. I'm getting old. My back hurts. I feel the pain now, but I skated for a long time. I was sponsored by Five Borough Skateboards. If you guys know Five Borough in New York, Chapman Skateboard. I skated for DVS. I skated for a few Spitfire wheels, Venture trucks. Like, I skated. And it's funny because you remind me of a guy who's a skateboard called Rodney Torres from Flushing. But you actually look just like him. But so I don't know if you ever skated, but if you ever got that. But yeah, so that's what I did. So I studied for undergrad right after high school. I wanted to be in California skating and doing multimedia design with my 3-chip camera, going out there and just filming and just having fun. Obviously, and I bowled. I'm a huge bowler. So there was 2 things I wanted to do with my life. My primary thing was to be a professional bowler. And that's what I wanted to do. And that was my dream. And I skateboarded just because it was fun and I got free stuff. I wasn't getting paid for skating. I just got free stuff in the mail, right? Because I was Flow and sponsored with these companies. And then all of a sudden, like, I broke my back. I broke my back bad snowboarding in the Poconos up north. And my bowling career type thing, because I bowled and I made money bowling. I paid for college bowling. I made a lot of money actually bowling. And I broke my back really bad. I broke my coccyx bone. Pretty much I broke my butt in half.
Wow.
And I couldn't bowl for several years. And that's when I started, leaning towards, I was in college. I was doing my multimedia. And I'm like, okay, like, this is not going to be a thing anymore. Like, I think my bowling quote unquote career is finito. So yeah. So then I was like, okay, I always thought computers were easy because I was able to use Final Cut Pro, like, back then. Like, now it's weird because I don't even, I'm bad at editing now than I was 15, 18 years ago. But yeah, then I was just, studying multimedia, and then I transitioned to computer information systems. And then I transferred to, I trained 3 times, right? I went from multimedia to information systems, and I have 2 bachelor's degrees. So I have one in information systems security, and then one in computer engineering. And then that's how I got into IT. And we'll get back to the certification soon because I have a few certifications under my belt. And yeah, that's pretty much me as a whole. I don't know if I missed anything. If you guys see things on my YouTube channel, if you guys know me, I grew up a ghetto kid in the hood, then I went to, skating, and then I went to bowling. The reason why I started bowling is because to stay off the streets. That was my family too, threw me in a bowling alley. That's how I got into bowling. And then, yeah, that's how the cookie crumbled. And yeah, so that's a little bit about, and then I went for my master's degree at WGU. And with WGU, if you guys are familiar, it's an online uni out in Utah. And yeah, you get some certifications with the training. I don't know how it is now. I studied 6 years ago, my master's. Mm-hmm. So, I got like certified ethical hacker, certified hacking forensics investigator, ECSA, LPT, and then some webmaster ones that they threw in there, Linux Plus and some other ones. But yeah, and go for it, Kev. That's pretty much a little bit about me. If you have any questions regarding certifications, technical wise, we can get deeper into that.
Definitely, man, definitely. I'm gonna have the same background as you. So I grew up in a bad neighborhood. I grew up in the ghetto as well. So people don't know that, but definitely, I definitely can relate to you. And you're from New York as well. I'm from New York, so it's just like I got your number too, and I'm like, let me just call him. And then we were just talking. It was so funny how we do similar things in our channels. We help people in IT. So I was like, let me just get him and let's do a conversation, have an interview, and just talk about IT a little bit. So my question for you is going to be more towards obviously IT. So it's going to be like what are, I guess, for someone brand new, like what do you recommend? Like, right, because I know you've been in IT for a while now. So what are your recommendations for someone brand new? Like, hey, I'm brand new. Pat, I know nothing about IT. I want to get started. Like, what's your advice for someone?
1,000%. And I want to say now in 2021, I wish I had what I had. I wish I had like the things that people have today. I wish I had it 17 years ago when I started, or 18 years ago now, right? It's so easy to get into it now, right? Like, remember when I did my MCSE in 2003 server, right? I had to go savage computers, have old rubbish machines, installing 2003 server, creating a physical domain controller with DC promo, no ADDS, adding a role and easy peasy, next. It was so different. It was harder back then. 7 exams for that, for that certification. It was not easy, but still to today, A+ certification was my hardest exam. And we'll get to that in a minute. A+ was really hard for me because I remember I was never a geek. I never understood North Bridge, South Bridge, this bridge, that bridge, Verrazano Bridge. I didn't understand that stuff, So like my thing was more like I understood networking. I understood like systems because it made sense. When you give me like the electronic aspect, I was in left field, And so yeah, to get back to Kev's question, if you're getting in today, what I would recommend, remember, A+ was never something that, like, if I had to go back, I wouldn't have done that, me personally, because I never utilized it. I just thought that was the way to get in. A+ network plus security plus, A+ network security plus. That's the way people said to get in. But it all depends on what your journey wants to be, whatever you want to be. I can't say, okay, get it your A+, network plus, then CCNA if you want to go cloud engineering. If you want to go pen testing, if you want to go software engineering, DevOps, then that's not the right path. But understanding the fundamentals of the quote unquote A+, network plus, security plus, because security is going to be AWS, Azure, private clouds, anything that you understand what a VPN is, what is asymmetric and symmetric key sets. These kind of information you're going to have to understand. Maybe you may not be configuring it, but understanding the traversity of that data is critical. So I think like what you want, like if I was to do this today, like right now, like, because my focus now is InfoSec, right? If I was to do it right now, this would be me. I would get probably my Network Plus, because you have to understand how networks traverse. Maybe do CCNA, because CCNA is a good foundation of routing and switching and secure. Now with the new CCNA, right? Back when it was CCENT, ICND1, ICND2, is a little different because it was strictly focused on routing and switching. Now wireless, firewalls, network automation, that's all ties into one exam, which I think Cisco did an awesome job. I have not taken it because I have a CCIE. I don't really advertise my CCIE, but I do have a CCIE in routing and switching. So I have a few certifications I don't really advertise. I just do it for my self-satisfaction. Just because I have, like, Kevin has his Discord channel with his mates. Maybe he has projects on the side that he just keeps to himself. And that was one big one I did with some friends years ago in 2015. And I did it because it was fun. I didn't do it because I wanted more money, that I wanted to say, okay, here's my, CCIE number. I don't even put my CCIE on LinkedIn, because I don't care. Like, it's more of my blue little plaque in the back, right? So yeah, now the world knows now, right? Now the world knows about that. But that's what I would say. And then after you get your maybe Network Plus Network Plus and CCNA, maybe Security Plus as well, because that's a good one. And then see, like, where you want to transition, right? You want to go into cloud. You want to go into DevOps. You want to go into InfoSec. You want to go into network programmability, et cetera, et cetera. Azure, Kevin's a good one for that. Like, so there's so many different avenues to go down. And that's what I would do if I was today, because of the whole accessibility, right? You have VirtualBox. You can spin up, like, if you want to do InfoSec, right? Let's try HackMe, free 99. Hack the Box, free 99. VulnHub, free 99. You can just download these machines to your, put it in a nested network. You don't even have to put it on the internet. You take a bus to work, or you take a train, or however, maybe you work from home. But whenever you do, you can just hack a box, right? So yeah, that's the way I would do it now. Like, if you want to get into networking, right? You have GNS3, EVE-NG, Cisco's CLM. So there's so many different ways to get the bin files and understand networking and doing all that good stuff. So that's the way I would do it now. We have an advantage today.
That's I say that too. Like, there is, like, so many free resources out there. Thank you for sharing that. There's, like, so many resources out there. Like I was on your channel. You have a lot of stuff in cybersecurity, and the thing is with me is I get people hate me sometimes when I tell this to them, because people want to do advanced stuff but they don't know basics. Mm-hmm. So I always tell people, like, you gotta be strong in your fundamentals, strong on your basics, because if you're not strong in your basics, you're not gonna understand what you're doing. So it gets very, very complicated. Like, we talked about this. I actually spoke about this last night on my Discord. Like, when I asked someone, like, I'll give you a real example. Like, what is Google doing when you go and type google.com on the web browser? What is Dora? Not Dora the Explorer, like Dora. What does that mean? Yeah. And how does that work?
DHCP.
Yeah, exactly. So it gets very complicated when you're talking about, like, advanced topologies and a mesh, a hybrid, all this stuff. So you need to understand your fundamentals. If you don't know your fundamentals, you're going to be in trouble. Like, you can't do anything in IT if you don't know the fundamentals. And coming from you and me, like, we both don't have a background in IT. Like, I worked in restaurant. So it's just, you got to know your fundamentals. And when you would understand that basic stuff, then you could go and do the advanced stuff. That's what I tell people.
Totally, 1,000%. And I want to feed on that, right? For an example, and I was one of those guys, right? I wanted just to be at this level. Who cares about all this level? That's easy peasy. And this is a real thing. I'm speaking the God honest truth right now. This was about probably 6 years ago, and I already had 11 years experience in the field at that time. I had a call with a client. They said their network was down, right? I'm thinking BGP, show routed BGP, blah, 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 blah. This whole holy moly up here. I'm thinking, like, the worst case, I'm adding static routes, doing everything, it's changing different things. And the damn cleaning lady, bloody hell, she was cleaning the things. And I guess the uplink from the layer 3 switch to the to the ASR, to the router for the ISP, it got disconnected. Everything internal is working because at layer, at layer 2, and everything is connecting, and you can see the server because it's all on the local network. But anything that tries to get that layer 3 to get out, no bueno, stuck, sacabo. And then all of a sudden, like, I'm like troubleshooting, and I was like, wait a minute, there's this red cable that's just hanging here. Boop. And I plugged it in, and this is what I mean, like understanding layer 1, the OSI model, right? I didn't look at layer 1 because I missed the know-it-all, right? And I'm not fronting, you know what I mean? I'm thinking it's way higher, ISP issues, boom, boom, boom. And it was such a simple thing. So if you don't understand those basic fundamentals, or even if you do, remember, start at layer 1, then go to layer 2. Then that's why there's a TCP/IP model and an OSI model, right? It's not there just for show and tell, right? It's there to utilize. So yeah, that's a real life thing, and I did it. and I'm not perfect, and I did it, So
I tell people, like, you need to know fundamentals, and they get upset with me because I'm like, you could, you watch these like Netflix, right? You watch like Mr. Robot, and then you watch all these things online, and then people assume that you need to know all this crazy stuff in the command line to get into IT. It's just like very misleading, right?
yeah.
So you're focused on the advanced stuff later on in your career. And I was going to ask you a question, actually. So what's your advice for someone brand new? Well, actually not brand new, but someone that's been in Helpdesk, for example. Like, I do Helpdesk training, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what's your advice for someone that's like, all right, Kev or Pat, I've been in Helpdesk for about a year or two. Now I want to get into cybersecurity. And I know you're gonna give me different answers because cybersecurity is big. There's like the blue team, then there's the red team, then there's the purple team, then there's like SOC analyst, entry level SOC analyst, cybersecurity. So what's your intake on that? What would you advise someone brand new or someone that has helped us experience?
Totally,
To get into that?
I can't speak on the SOC because I never worked at a SOC, right? I never actually did blue teaming, and I'm going to convey that now. I guess I have, because understanding firewalls and AV, EDR, and all that stuff, like on the internal level, on the inside of your network, and understanding web application firewalls. But I never I know Splunk, I know Logrim, I know QRadar, I know these SIM tools, but it's not my favorite, right? That's not like something I enjoy doing. It's not like I want to ingest data and parse through logs and, let's do this. I hate that. So to answer your question, what I would do if I was a help desk person, and I would say, like, go on like Try Hack Me, get your feet wet with multiple sides, right? Because I do teach as well. I do teach cybersecurity, and I have that. Everyone wants to put that Mr. Robot thing back there, the anonymous mask, and be the offensive red teamer hacker, right? Everyone wants to do this, but the one good thing I can say that I took out of transitioning to from IT or from help desk to sysadmin, network admin, understanding the fundamentals of system administration, right? Because now you're in help desk, maybe you understand Active Directory, maybe you understand DNS. Like he was saying, like, okay, you go to google.com, what is it exactly doing when it goes to that, your LM host file and looking at these DNS inquiries? That's what he was referring to, right? If you can't convey that, if you can't tell me what is DNS, not like, DNS resolves an IP address to a domain name. No, I don't care about that. I know that's, but understand actually how it traverses. When you do NS lookup, set space type equals MX. If I'm looking for an MX record or a record or whatever record, what is that actually doing? Where, this is what I mean. And then, like, now, what if it says, host unreachable? Now let's set server 8.8.8.8, whatever you want to do for your server set, right? For your DNS name. So, and now as a pen tester or as the InfoSec aspect, now what you can do is say, okay, now if I'm telling, let's go do some DNS recon. Now you can say, now I know abcincorporated.com is a client that we're going to penetrate. Now I can understand, like, when I ping it, it gives me an IP address. When I do NS lookup, it gives me an IP address. When I go to what is my IP, it gives me an IP address to a location. Maybe it's maybe that web server is load balanced, right? Maybe, it's sitting behind a load balance or a web application firewall. So now you have to use like Nmap tools to invade that. So then that's when it comes into reconnaissance and enumeration. So understanding, so get back, I know it's a little off topic and it's such a broad question, but I think getting into like Try Hack Me, I think that one is really good because it has offensive, defensive, it has a lot of cool things, and it's free, right? You can spend whatever, $10, $15 a month or 10 euros or whatever it is, to get like more rooms, but that's definitely a good start because it guides you, right? It says, okay, I want to learn Nmap. It gives you a brief description of Nmap, and let's see, okay, Nmap-SV, service enumeration, then you do a default scan with SC, blah, blah, blah. And understanding these syntax is important. And that's the way I would get into it. Go from Helpdesk, maybe do Try Hack Me to understand your avenue that you're interested in. Unless you absolutely know, like, okay, I want to hack shit. I want to hack stuff, right? Like, I just want to like go on there and just boom, boom, boom. I want to be this pen tester. Then, maybe go for people say the CEH is rubbish. I have my CEH, is it worth it? I don't know. It's really expensive, but I did it when I was in grad school. So it was a part of the program. If I were to do it now, I don't think I would do my CEH. That's just me. I would go for OSCP, or maybe before OSCP, maybe EJPT, which is eLearn's Junior Penetration Tester. That's a good one. Or even the Pen Test Plus, right? Pen Test Plus from CompTIA. And if you're interested in blue teaming, obviously the CYSA is more SOC, blue team driven. But before you get any of those, get your Security Plus, right? Because those other things, those are a little more advanced topics. If you don't understand the Sec Plus level, those, when I talk about pen testing and stuff like that, it's going to be a little foreign. And then once you get Try Hack Me down, maybe do Hack the Box. I wouldn't recommend Hack the Box right away, even though they made it a little more kid-friendly now or user-friendly because they have the Pwn box. Before it was harder because first you had to hack your way in. Now you just go to hackthebox.eu and you can sign up, right? It wasn't like that when I did my OSCP, right? I had to hack my way in and then do all that good stuff. And then last but not least, once you get that familiarity, maybe you understand virtualization, download these, OVAs from VulnHub and just try to hack them yourself, right? Metasploitable too. There's different juice box, damn vulnerable web app. There's so many different ways to learn today. So take advantage of it. And you have channels like mine, like Kevin's, you have this Discord, you have this support, and the love and support is out there. So take advantage.
And one thing, like I want to actually add on to what you said. One thing that people don't know about that's absolutely free that I tell people to take advantage of is Range Force.
Mm-hmm.
So if Range Force is like one of those big things that they do free training, they do training every single month, and they do cybersecurity training for free, and they pay it forward. Like if you don't want to pay anything, they give it to you for free. You can take the course for free, and you can watch the recordings later on if you missed it. Mm-hmm. And some people that I know that actually done the training, they actually got a job as entry level cybersecurity, just doing Range Force, just having that on the resume, and having that on the resume, and people are like, oh, you've been trained by him from Range Force, really? Oh my God, wow, that's crazy. And then they hire you. So tell people to look at the free resources first before you look at the other stuff. Well, there's a lot of free things available out there, even in free Discords. Like you have a Discord too, and there are other Discords out there that do cybersecurity, and they do it for free. So I don't understand why not take advantage of it, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
And that's the other thing.
Mm-hmm. And that's one thing I can say, since we're on this InfoSec subject, I've been in it all, right? I've been Helpdesk, sysadmin, network admin. I did some DBA stuff. At least for me, my experience in cyber has probably been the most welcoming field. Meaning, what do I mean by that? When I was in sysadmin, when I was a network admin, when I was not like new as far as beginner, like if I came to Kevin Incorporated, started working for Kevin Incorporated. Now I'm the new network engineer or system engineer. And now I'm going to use, Bob, right? Bob's there. Now I'm there. I'm the new guy. Bob's scared. Bob's like, oh, I'm not going to tell him anything. Bob's like insecure because, instead of saying, okay, let's collab and be a team, everyone fears because whatever the case may be, if it's, oh, he has more experience, or he has this certification. I've heard it all. I've been in interviews asking me, why do I have so many certs? You know, and I have about 78 certifications. You know, I have a lot. And I say, I do it for me. I don't do it for you. Okay. And I'm not asking you for more money. I do it just because I want to do it. And that's why, literally, the God honest truth, I took a lot of my certs off my resume, even off LinkedIn. I don't put them all. I just put like my OSCP, CEH, CHFI, you know, like the cyber ones I have.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have some of my Microsoft ones, my Cisco ones, and stuff like that. But my little Dell ones, my little HP ones, Sonic Wall, WatchGuard, all those little ones that I've taken, you know, I don't even put them on anymore because it's like, but yeah. So that's, you know, that's just some advice I give. Like, so from the InfoSec aspect, since day one, it's been a loving and welcoming. I never had someone say, "Oh, that's mine." I think because we're more united in the InfoSec world, and we want to hack together. It's not like, oh, this is my network, this is my system. It's, we're a team. We're going to hack these guys. Or this is all of us. We're going to go after this target, whatever that target is. Because the more the merrier in this world, right? Versus, oh, this is my network, and I'm scared that you're going to find something that I left the VLAN open, and I just put everyone in an everyone group because I didn't want to deal with adding Kevin, Pat, Joe, this person, the proper way to do NTFS permissions, right? It's easy, just add everyone, apply, GP updates, like, you know, GP updates is force, boom. Go ahead and try to log in, try to access that folder. Oh, you good? Okay, thank you. Close the ticket, right? That's, I'm a victim of that, right? Like, I used to do that, you know, like, get off the phone quick, boom, boom, boom. But the InfoSec world, that's just my experience so far, knock on wood. I never had someone that's been like, dude, like, you don't know that? You know, I don't know everything. You know, there's some part like web application stuff. Yes, I know a little more now than I did a year ago, but I've reached out for help. You know what I mean? Like, from people on my Instagram, or people on Discord, or people wherever, watch videos and converse with people, say, hey man, like, I want to learn more about web pen testing or mobile application pen testing. And I have friends, right? Internet friends that we do a remote session, and they'll teach me how to hack an iPhone, or how to hack an Android device, or do discovery or forensics on these devices, because I never know. And if they're working on a project, they're just so welcoming. So that's what I can say to take out of the InfoSec world. It's a very welcoming, loving community.
And that I'm gonna add to that again. So this is another thing too that I always talk about is it's important to network. Not talking about TCP/IP. I'm talking about networking, like connecting with people and interacting with people. And LinkedIn doesn't get used properly when it comes to connecting with job recruiters, connecting with people that work in IT, connecting with people that have the job that you want. And I tell people, like, and I'll give you a real example actually. So I actually spoke with a school last night, and I did how to get started in IT support, right? And I gave them homework. So I said, your homework for December, or the end of the year, is I want you to have 1,000 connections on LinkedIn before the year is over. And I know this is like a physical manual thing. I want you to add a note to each person that you talk to before you add them. Add a note and let them know you're adding them because you're doing that 1,000 connection challenge. So I tell people to do that. I tell people to connect, because you never know who you know that might give you the job.
Exactly.
So what is your thought on that? What's your thought on LinkedIn?
No, 1,000%. And that's a good point, because add a note. Because I get a lot of recruiters, and I get a lot of people adding me on LinkedIn, and some people that, you know, off the wall people. I'll keep it at that. I'll keep it 100. So, but like, if it's a legit person, like saying, hey Pat, or hey Patrick, I'm interested in getting into IT. I'm adding you because I've seen you have an OSCP, and I'm really interested in going down that route. Can you guide me? Boom. I accept, and then I reply. I'm like, you know, the way I did my OSCP, I did, you know, I went to this sec list and did all these hack the box challenges, and, you know, did these Vuln Hub machines. And if you need this list of machines, I can give that to you. And I have a spreadsheet of machines I've done over the years that helped me with my OSCP journey. Like back then, I wasn't into blogging my stuff. Remember, I was very private with my stuff. Like I just did my stuff and did it. But now it's like, okay, like, I had a lot of friends, maybe about a dozen friends asking me, oh, how to configure a firewall, how to do this, how to do that. And that's where I started my YouTube channel, maybe. And I want to ask you, like, what made you start your channel? But that's how I did mine. Like I was like making videos. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just OBS Studio, hit record, and I didn't know what I was doing. I was just talking to my laptop. Hey, Kenny, this is how you set up this. This is a buddy of mine. Hey, this is how you set up this Palo Alto. This is where you get the OVA for the appliance. This is how you do this, and that. And I would upload it to Google Drive, and then I would send it to him. And I thought one day, I was like, I'm just sending it to Kenny. What about if I put this on YouTube? Maybe I'll get 10 views. That's more than just for Kenny. I impacted 10 people. Still till today, whatever. I almost have 15,000 subs, but I don't care about the subs. I don't do it for money. I don't do that stuff for that. Like I don't need money, right? I just do it to put my information out there to help someone. There's so many. There's the Cyber Mentor, huge guy. John Hammock, he's awesome. There's so many awesome people that do their thing. What's the other guy?
Keith Walker?
No, Keith as well. But Keith does more CCNA type stuff, right? He does a lot of CCNA. He does do for his YouTube channel, right? Then you have Network Chuck. Then you have like
Professor Messer.
PC, yeah. Professor Messer. Professor Messer is another good one. Hackersploit. Hackersploit is awesome. Like I guess he's from, I don't know, he's from the Middle East, but I watch his videos from here, sometimes, and he's awesome. And then there's Zed Security, another guy I think from the Middle East. Awesome dudes. Like they have some awesome content, and yeah, so there's so much stuff out there, and that's the reason why I made my YouTube channel, just because I was like, oh, I can make a video to show someone how to do something that I wish I would have seen back then. But obviously, a lot of my content got taken down because I was teaching people how to hack your neighbor's Wi-Fi, how to get into your friend's Instagram account, like how to set up phishing attacks, how to set up, bypassing web application firewalls, how to bypass email filters, how to do that stuff. I was doing that in the beginning because I was just like, this is what people want. Obviously, you have to be careful what you post on these platforms, and you have to say it's, obviously we're not condoning any malicious stuff, but we just want to educate these people. That's why, social engineering is fun. I love social engineering. That's why security awareness training is massive. I think that's the number one skill a hacker has, right? You can go behind the keyboard and hack all you want, but if you can be a good social engineer, that's even a word, social engineer. But if you can social engineer people, you're good. That's tricking the mind to give you information without them really noticing that they're giving it to you, right? And that's probably my favorite things to do, because it's the human element is the dumbest element. Remember that. You can have all the bells and whistles, firewalls, AVs, EDRs, but we're the dumb ones. We're the ones that click on the link. We're the ones that accept that malware or ransomware. We are the weakest link. So remember that. So security awareness training for your clients is numero uno. So remember that. Yeah.
No, I definitely agree with you. The question you asked me why I started my channel is because I got frustrated with the IT industry. I got frustrated with the information being laid out, and I don't agree with certain things that get laid out. And I started with I got all this misleading information like go get your A+ and you'll get a job immediately. Doesn't work that way. So it's just people tell you things, and I got frustrated. And I know you have to. I know we talk about how to stay up to date, right? With technology, you build your home labs, right? Make sure you have your own home lab.
Yeah.
We talk about fixing your resume, right? You have to have a good resume. If your resume sucks, no one's gonna call you. We talk about networking. So the networking piece, connecting with job recruiters, connecting with hiring managers, talk to people that live around your area. We talk about not staying obsolete. Because what happens is when you become an IT professional, you're always going to be learning. You're constantly going to be learning. So one of the things you want to do in IT is not be obsolete and not be that person that oh, I'm only good at
Stagnant.
this. I'm a
Don't be
specialist at this.
stagnant.
Yeah. And then like there's some people that are afraid to learn other stuff. Oh no, I'm only good at that. I'm only good at Active Directory. That's I get paid to just do that only. I'm not gonna learn the other stuff. So don't do that. There's like that's
Yeah,
like things like that. So that's why I started my channel
good
and I
stuff.
put stuff up that actually is useful for people. I'm not gonna put some nonsense in my channel. So that's just
No, you have a lot of
answer
good
your
stuff.
question.
I learned a few things, especially with Azure, right? I don't work with Azure every day, and I poked around some of your stuff with Azure, and I'm like, wow, this is some legit stuff. So, because I need to do the AZ900 and AZ104, I have to do that because we're gonna, we're thinking about starting to teach those two, a boot camp for that, and I'm not 100% proficient with it, right? Like I don't do it every day. I don't think it's going to be difficult because of my Windows background, but it's still something new, right? It's something new for me. It's a new area, it's new tabs, new things like federation services and understanding, all the little cloud components. I know AWS very well, but Azure is something I don't know so well. And as we that's what I'm saying. Don't stay stagnant. If there's something that you can learn, you know, bite it, take it on.
Definitely. And I was gonna ask you another question. Like you answered the question about YouTube channel, right? You have your YouTube channel. I'm gonna go over that in a couple of minutes. But what does why'd you pick IT over all the other stuff? Like why IT for you?
Okay. That's a good one. Because I grew up, remember where I grew up? Like I
Yeah.
grew up, my father was working on roofs, did blue collar stuff. My mom passed away when I was really young. So like I guess there was things in my life I wanted to not make history repeat itself, if that makes sense. I try to keep it high level because I'll probably get emotional. But then I was like, okay, I don't want to follow those footsteps, right? And that's why I was like, okay, I wanted to start doing multimedia design because I love skating, right? I wanted to do something with quote unquote, like with that, what I loved. And I guess IT was the next thing after multimedia, right? Because I broke my back. I wanted to be a professional bowler. I got paid lots of money bowling, more than I get paid in IT. I bowled, I made a lot of money, but so that there was a transition, like saying, okay, like what is the next thing? I have a broken back. I can't lift anything. There was things that I had to like observe, right? So, IT was the thing that was the next thing in line that made sense from multimedia. And I was like, okay, I'll start working with computers, learning the server stuff, learning the networking stuff. So I have a friend of the family that said, like you can come work at my company. You can set up computers. You can set up the workstations, the servers, reinstalling Windows and doing all that stuff. So that's what I did. And that's how I got into it. And that's how I pretty much got into it.
Got it. And going back into, let me go over here. Give me a second. Let me share my screen. Share screen. Let's see. Share. All right. And let's let it load. Sure. Okay, there we go. So tell me a little more about your channel, because I know I have channel. I be spying on people sometimes with your channel. So what's your channel about?
So that's a good, just like it says there, right? Like let's bring InfoSec community together. So the InfoSec community, I believe, is like I said, the most tightest community, right? And I really believe that. So my channel was mostly going to be InfoSec, right? And I did a lot of InfoSec videos, and then I was getting them taken down, right? So I had to take a break a little bit from there. And I was like, okay, I can revert to like networking systems. So I made a playlist of Windows Server 2019. I looked at it as, what would I need to learn as a quote unquote beginner in system admin, right? So that's when I started making those videos with those crazy, like me, like looking like that. So I was like, okay, let's set up a Windows Server 2019 box, installing Active Directory, installing whatever else, DNS, DHCP, setting up from like soup to nuts, having a little network come up online so you can manage it. And then there goes Keith Barker.
Yeah, I see that. You interviewed Keith Barker. That's crazy.
Yeah. So And then, just made different videos. And I was like, okay, let's make some Cisco videos because I come from that Cisco background, right? So I was like, oh, I'll make some Cisco videos, setting up basic networks, VLANs, EIGRP, BGP, OSPF, the basics of like some CCNA driven stuff. And so it just kept on going on and on, like, and I'll just like get ideas, right? Like you said, I'll go out and see what's out there and just get some ideas from some people's channels and say, okay, like this seems pretty cool. Let's do something on this. Let's set up Kali Linux. Let's set up this, that, and the other. Like, and then I'll actually get requests, right? On my on Instagram or Twitter. Hey guys, like, well, hey Pat, like, how do you set up Hack the Box VPN? Even though you could probably Google it, right, or YouTube it. I was like, okay, that's an idea. Maybe he's not the only one that's asking how do you set up you open VPN, download your file from either Hack the Box or Try Hack Me. So I'm like, okay, fair enough. I can do a 10, 15-minute video, talk about this, that, and the other. And then that's pretty much what my, obviously it was a little all over the place, like Windows stuff, doing firewall, setting up PF-Sense and all that good stuff. So that's pretty much what my channel is about. Some InfoSec, some IT, some networking, but the bolt of it is InfoSec.
Awesome, man. Awesome. I had to get you on because I appreciate what you're doing, helping people and educating people in IT community, and that's something that I preach, is educating people and helping people get into IT, and that's very, very important in IT because a lot of people you have like the good and the bad of IT, right? So like the good is people share information, but then you have the bad that people don't want to share anything and not give any information at all, and it's just like, come on, man, are you gonna help me or what? Like, why are you not helping me? So
I never been like that. Like, I guess I was always secure with my ability, or I just like to give. Like, I don't care, about, like I said, a lot of my training stuff, a lot of the certifications, I just do it because I wanted to do it, right? It's not because I had to do it. I think there was like 2 certifications that I quote unquote had to do for work, which was my VCP, and I think my MCSE for 2003 server for the job I had that I told my friend of the family got me, and he's like, oh, in order for you to go out to the field and set up the servers, they want an MCSE to do that. And I'm like, all right, and that's when I started doing my 2003's track, and that was it. But
someone was asking actually people are asking questions now. Let's see.
Let's
see. Let's go to we'll start taking questions actually. So
go for it.
Chris is like, how do you guys balance your time after work? Currently working full time in Helpdesk, and I find myself not too motivated to study after work. It's a good question.
Yeah, most definitely. Like, that's a good one. I'm still, the way I do it, right? Like, I have a daughter, I have a little stepson, and I have a job. I still bowl, but I don't bowl as I used to. Like, I still bowl, but obviously I only bowl once a week. I have a full plate, right? How I do it, right? And then I have my YouTube, right? And I had teach at night, and then do all these other things. How I do it, I stay disciplined, right? Like, if you're doing full-time help desk and you want to start studying after work, you have to put the dedication in. Say, okay, I don't know what your distractions are. If it's Facebook, Instagram, girlfriend, or whatever, and if it's family or whatever, you say, hey, like when I did my CCIE, I had to do that for a year and a half. Like, I had to like put friends aside because that was a beast of an exam. If anyone knows about that exam, so how I did it, I said, hey guys, like from 7 to 10, 3 times a week, I'm going to study. I'm not going to use my phone. Just leave me alone. In that sense, like, just leave me be. And you don't have to say leave me be. You're a busy dude, right? Like, you're a busy guy. So put your thing on do not disturb. Put your phone in your hoodie. I don't know. Put it away so you can't like bzz, bzz, and like get distracted and start looking at your stuff, right? Mm-hmm. That's the way I would do it. Or what you can do is, like, I don't know how you can study. I don't know, like, if you can maybe have, a platform like CBT Nuggets or IT Pro TV and just take a walk. I like taking walks. So, like, take a walk, get out of your house, because then you have your computer distraction, you have other things. just focus on what that one thing is while you're walking, or I don't know. Everyone's different, right? But that's what I would say. Yeah, that's what I would.
I mean, for me, like if you have time to watch my live stream, you have time to study. I'm
Yeah,
just saying. I'm just saying.
1,000%.
So I was just gonna say is that you have to know how to balance it. So if you work like 8 to 5 and help us, then you have to. Then after that, you could study, and then in some places they allow you to study while being at work for that 1 hour lunch break or half-hour lunch break. Watch a video and study that way. Well, you have to figure out how to balance it because everyone has their own schedule. And then what I recommend doing also is if you have Outlook or Gmail, whatever, like I would block the calendar certain hours of the day just so you could have dedication that 1 hour, 2 hours so you could study. So usually that's how I do it. So usually I have calendar invites and then block certain days of the week. That way I have time for myself and I have time to do what I have to do. So that's my answer to that question.
Cool.
Go to the next one.
I like that.
All right, let's see. How much hours of the day do both of you dedicate to studying certifications?
That's a good question. If you're talking about at this very moment, I told you I want to probably do the AZ 900, AZ 104. I just thought about this last week. So, I'm going to have to order the books. I'm a big book person. I don't like reading off PDFs. I think maybe I'm old school because I like to use my highlighter. I like to circle things. I like to mess up my book. So if it's me, the way I will do this one, because I teach 3 times a week. I have bowling on Tuesday. I have my daughter. I have a lot of things. So what I'm going to do is just like I said, dedicate that time. I like to go on walks. I'll probably walk to a park locally by me and leave my phone at home. Like that's what I do. Or I'll go in my car and leave my phone inside or put it upstairs. It all depends like how the weather is or whatever. But that's what I do, right? Like I just focus on what I'm studying. Or if I'm like watching a video, like I have, CBT Nuggets, I have, different kinds of platforms. And same thing, the phone is your biggest distraction, right? No one can deny that. Like, if you have Discord, if you disable that thing, quit it, so you don't hit ding, 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 ding. If you have just open up the browser that you need, incognito mode, delete everything else, and just focus on that one thing so you don't have those distractions. That's what I would recommend. That's how I do it, because you have Twitter, you have Instagram, you have YouTube, you have Discord, you have Twitch, and all these things that can be distractions. And that's what I would do.
No, I agree with you. The same thing. Literally disconnect from everything technology related because you get emails, you get messages, you get everything. Like every single day, you get messages, you get emails. It's just like too many distractions. So you need to get out of the distractions and definitely go into it. And actually, someone asked you a direct question actually at the beginning of the chat. Hi Patrick, I'm here in PSL.
Port St.
Love to
Lucie.
work with. Yep. So
I'd love to work with you. Yeah, David. I'm sure you're saying Port St. Lucie. And I'm in West Palm Beach, so you're not too far. Yeah, man. Like if you ever want to talk, I think you have my YouTube channel, and go on there. You can add me on Instagram. My Instagram is InfoSec Pat or PDGIT Solutions, and you shoot me a message and say, "Hey, Pat, this is David from the live stream. I'm in PSL. Blah blah blah." Yeah, if I can help you out in any way, dude, I'm here for you, kid.
Awesome. And then someone else had another question.
I'm
I'm not a
Tamarack.
Linux guy. Good afternoon. I'm studying for Linux now. What can I do to study Linux?
Good question. So if you want to study Linux, there's Over the Wire, overthewire.com, I think, or just Google Over the Wire. It's super, super fun for Linux. Also, try HackMe. Try HackMe has some good Linux stuff as well. And the best thing is install, that's the beauty of virtualization. Install, if you're not interested in InfoSec world, install Ubuntu. Well, I don't know how other people would say that. Like we all have each other's accents, but I say Ubuntu. So install Ubuntu or Kali or whatever you're going to do and just install it and just make that your daily driver, like dedicate 5 hours or whatever, like install, Thunderbird, install your email client on there, learn how to use apt-get install, on this, like do that as your daily driver, and you'll be surprised, because I wanted to learn Linux about 8 years ago, 10 years ago now. And I used to like, I'll do a VM and I'll poke around and I get like, oh man, I don't know how to do it. So I'll just minimize it and now I'm back in Windows, And then in Windows, I'm more comfortable. And I'm like, so I never really learned it until one day I just whacked my laptop, right? Like I just said, I'm getting rid of Windows as a whole. And I installed Parrot OS desktop version. That's a pen testing distro. I didn't like Kali Linux because there were certain things that didn't work, like certain like Wi-Fi hacking tools and driver situation. This is when it was like Backtrack R3 when Kali just came out. But yeah, that's what I would do. So hopefully that helps you out. I'm sorry, I pronounced your name.
No, it's all good. David is asking another question. He wants to be an intern for you.
He wants to be an intern?
Yeah.
Intern.
Can I pick your brain? Is the question.
I'm about an hour less than intern with you. I would love to pick your brain and maybe learn. Yeah, man. we can bowl, man. If you want to bowl, we bowl for dollars around here, kid. So that's one. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, most definitely, man. Like, just like I said, hit me up, man. If there's anything I can do, if you really want to learn how to bowl, like if it's not a joke, like I can show you some tricks and understand the oil pattern, because there's techniques behind just throwing the ball down the lane. There's 24 boards. You have different arrows. You have certain ways you have to understand the oil patterns, the 18-foot oil pattern. So there's a whole science behind it. It's not like, that's why I never go out with my mates. You know what I mean? Like I never like, hey man, let's go bowl for fun. Like I don't drink. So I'm not into that stuff. So it's like, I don't like going out with friends to go bowling because they want to drink and throw the ball under their legs and mess around. And I'm there to actually bowl. So, but yeah, if you're really interested in bowling or picking my brain about IT, dude, I'm here for you, kid.
And I was gonna ask you a question, like a question for me, like this is something that I teach in IT. Like, what are your thoughts on when I talk about embracing rejection when you're brand new to IT? So I tell people that when you're brand new to IT, you're gonna hit a couple of walls when you're brand new and no one wants to hire you because you have no job experience. What's your thought process on that?
That's a good one. The thing is today, right? The thing is today, you do have experience. Think about that for a second. If you have VirtualBox, if you have VMware Workstation, if you have a home lab, you have experience, right? I don't know why Kevin went, but you do have experience, right? So you can take that experience and put that on your resume. If we're talking about if we're talking about pen testing, you have Hack the Box, you have Try Hack Me, you have VulnHub. You can put all these mini projects, and that's the beauty of Hack the Box, right? When you hack a box, it goes into a database that shows you that if you're a beginner, or what they call it noob. If you're a noob, you're an elite hacker, pro hacker. And actually on Hack the Box, you can go into a career section, and in there you can actually see who's good, and then you can go into and apply for jobs, and jobs can find you on there. And LinkedIn, like Kevin kept on conveying about, like understand how to use that resource to your advantage. Because if you use LinkedIn, like put your projects out there, like make a YouTube channel, right? Make something like I'm not a big writer, you know what I mean? So blogging for me is not an option. I don't like that stuff, Like that's why I'd rather just make a video, post it, and everything that I would have wrote, I just say, right? So then I can just post that on LinkedIn. I can post it on my Facebook thing. I can post it on Twitter. I can post it on Instagram, YouTube, and then different people see you and understand that you know what you're talking about. You may have never touched it in real life, right? But you understand what EIGRP is. What is a dynamic route? Because you set up Packet Tracer, you set up, EVNG or GNS3, or maybe even your own personal lab. Like I have some layer 2, there's a layer 3 catalyst switches back there. Like to set up, I don't know, like I hate physical labs now because it's like I'm in this little space and it gets like an oven in here. Even with the stuff I have over there, I can't even see it, but I have like a little rack over there, and it's just like heats up in here. Like, like I close the door and I have a window right there, and it's like heats up. So I try to limit. I rather have everything on my machine. Like I have a machine that has 256 gigs of RAM. I have a NAS, so I have, you can use whatever. I have my own home lab. So having that will definitely help you with your experience. So that is experience. Trust me, like if you came to me and I had, InfoSec Pad Incorporated, and you never worked and you never got paid, but if I tell you, how would what is the difference between a manual exploitation and a automated exploitation? And what tools will you use to automate an exploitation? If you say you don't know, then you don't know, right? But if you say, oh, like automated ways, you use a Metasploit, add in your auxiliary, add in your exploit, blah, blah, blah. Manually is to go out and go to, like, for example, get the exploit for the, remote code execution, download it, or use a reverse shell, modify the PHP file, and just upload this and execute it with Netcat. If you can walk me through that, maybe you never did that on an engagement. So I'm like, oh, dude, like, all right, you know what you're talking about. We're speaking the same lingo. So I think that's super important. So experience is not just about working and getting paid. It's about understanding doing it at just a fundamental level and understanding that you did it. So when you talk to that interviewer, or because you'll be an interviewee, right? That interviewer, and you can say, I never touched this, but look, check out my YouTube channel, check out my links on LinkedIn, my features, et cetera, et cetera. And that goes a long way, especially today, because a lot of people are doing that, right? And do that video interview. I think like Zach Hill did, like when he started working years ago, or I think like a year ago or something, like with Next Gen Z, right? So he did this video interview, like, hey, this is me, Zach, blah, blah, blah. I'm looking for a position. That too, like those are some witty things to do, you know what I mean? So hats off to him for doing that. And don't be embarrassed to put yourself out there. Just, I was a little camera shy in the beginning. You know what I mean? Like I was like, oh, I don't want, because I'm more private. I didn't want people to really, dig at me or make fun of me or like, oh, what is this kid doing? It was very like in my head, now it's like, I don't give a damn. You know what I mean? Like it's because if you don't want to watch it, the next person will. Right. So hopefully you took something out of that.
Yeah, sorry about that. I put you on the spotlight, so I'm able to actually put you in full screen.
Oh,
that's why I wanted to talk. Yeah,
did I lose them?
The app lets me do that, so that's why I wanted to put you there, because I like to. If you're talking, I want to put you on the spotlight. But hopefully that answers everyone's question, because I always get asked like, "What do you think about like the people ask me like, you're brand new, right? You're gonna get rejected a lot." So I tell people that you need to embrace rejection. It's like the first thing I teach in IT, because I do run my own internship. So the first thing I teach is like, I need you to embrace rejection, because when you're brand new to IT, no one wants to hire you because you have no job experience. So it becomes a kind of like a catch-22. It's like, Kev, they're asking for job experience, but I don't have job experience, and I can't get job experience if I don't have a job. Like, what the hell is this? So I tell people, you got to do the home labs, fix the resume, talk to job recruiters. You got to put some sort of IT experience in there. And I also tell people that when you work in restaurant, retail, or anything related with people are going to hire you because you have customer service experience, especially if you're working for Helpdesk. They like that. They like those things on the resume because it means you know how to interact with somebody. So I don't know what your thought process is on that. But yeah, definitely tell people like you gotta have people skills. 1,000%. That's like one thing I teach. Like, you gotta know how to talk to people, and it's not all about being technical. You have to know how to interact, talk to people, especially when you're working with C-level folks. I work with a lot of executives, and if you don't know how to convey conversation with them and you get too technical with them, like, I just want to know if it works. I don't care. I don't care what you did to fix it. I just care if it works.
Yeah,
that's all I care about. So that's how I talk to people. Just try to make it as simple as possible, if that makes sense.
Exactly.
And that's how it is, man. You gotta have that people skills.
Yep.
And someone's asking, they could connect with you on LinkedIn.
Most definitely. Yep. You can definitely do that.
Yeah, I put you on the spotlight before.
No, you're good. You're good. No,
I was just asking. I see if anyone has any more questions. I don't like to keep us like. I don't want to like waste your time either. I want to keep you here for 5 hours. I don't do that.
Yeah, if there's any more questions, we'll give it another 5 minutes because like I have a few things to do, but obviously I want to give you guys the opportunity to ask questions. I know I talked for majority of the time, rambled on. So if you have any questions about technical stuff, or if you just want to ask me, as you be your friend for the next 5 minutes, dude, ask away, and I'm here for you. But yes, let's get tech. Let's get tech. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
let's
can
get
connect
tech.
to me. Yeah, you can connect to me.
And I appreciate you coming in and talking today.
Yeah,
Appreciate
no,
I
thank you,
appreciate
man.
that. I
Yeah, thank
appreciate
you.
that you come and talk today, and so I know you're busy. I know you're very busy. Like we've been going back and forth, and it's just like so hard to get something going because you're busy, I'm busy.
Yeah,
So
no,
definitely
I really
appreciate that.
appreciate this, and much more to come. Like if you want to, maybe your network and maybe my network, we could put these on, and maybe we can do this again. Maybe more of a planned kind of topics you want to talk about. This is more of a generic, like who the hell is Pat, right? And behind these videos and behind these screens, like now you guys know a little bit more about me, and hopefully that answers any questions. Maybe some like I don't know, whatever. But if you have any questions for the next couple of minutes, which platform do you recommend for CCNA?
CNA.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
So when I did my CCNA, obviously it was way back in the day, but today, man, I love CBT Nuggets, right? Like I'm a fanboy of Keith. I love Jeremy Chara. Like so I think their CCNA. I watched their CCNA. The new stuff is pretty good. Then there's IT Pro TV. There's INE. I think they do some CCNA stuff, but I've been at the Cisco game for a few years, so I'm not 100% sure like if there's any other like Keith Barker has his channel is awesome too, and he has a lot of content that has to do with CCNA. So maybe check him out. And you know, I think Cisco has a sandbox environment that you can touch some stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
So and obviously get your hands on Packet Tracer and GNS3 Packet Tracer. I always recommend Packet Tracer for beginners because it's very simple, right? You drag a router, you drag a switch, you just connect it, and you can just open up the command. When you have GNS3, it's a little more configurating. You have to connect to a server. Same thing with EVE-NG. So, but if you understand how to connect nets to networks and you understand NAT and bridge networks and all that stuff, forget about Packet Tracer. But obviously, I don't know your experience, but yeah.
Someone had a question for you. Which positions are the easiest to get for entry-level cybersecurity positions? A bit of a background, I have 2 years of experience in IT computer support and Security Plus certification.
Nice. Cool. So I'm going to give you an answer that I never did, right? Working in a SOC. I never did because I never had the opportunity to do, or maybe there was not really a SOC. Maybe there was, but maybe it wasn't as hot as today. But getting into a SOC position, learning that blue team stuff. See, this is what I say. Like I never did blue teaming, but I would probably be a better hacker if I did blue teaming because now I know how the hacker is getting in. I know how to defend against it. I know how the data is mitigated. Blah 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 blah. And now I can say, okay, if I have all this, this is what alerts come up and whatever. Now I know how to invade that. Right now I can get around that. Now I know how to manipulate the data and just do mini packet exchanges instead of like, if you understand Wireshark and packet manipulation and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I would say. Get into a SOC analyst and, get your feet wet in there, understand some of the tools, and then maybe get into like maybe a junior pen test. It all depends on what avenue, right? So if you want to get more into red teaming, maybe you can, do like the EJPT certification since you have your Security Plus, and maybe the OSCP to get more red team driven. And, jump on these platforms, man. Hack the Box, try Hack Me's, Vulnubs, and go to town. That's what I would say.
Yeah, so someone was asking me that question, not on YouTube. So you're actually on LinkedIn as well. So I'm sorry, LinkedIn guys. I know I see you guys. I see your questions. I see you guys. LinkedIn's a little delayed for some reason, but that one was asking on LinkedIn. So that's why I was answering your question. Don't have any more questions. If you guys want to follow him, follow Pat. He's on LinkedIn. He has a YouTube channel. He's all over the place. He's a ninja. He's a trainer. He's a skateboarding guy. He is a pizza enthusiast and a couple other things, So before I let you guys go, I'm gonna give the floor to Pat. Do you have any final words you want to say?
Yeah, man. I just want to say, Kev, thank you so much for your Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon. It's 1:00 over here. I think it's 1:00 in New York as well. And thank you for all your audience, right? Like I enjoyed these questions, answering your questions. And like Kev said, if you guys have any questions after this, Kendrick has one question. What are the key fundamentals to learn and master before learning hacking? Learn Linux, learn system administration, because how can you hack something when you don't know how something works? That's my words. So hopefully you take that. And yeah, man, thank you so much, man. Like I really appreciate it. And like Kev said, hit me up on social media if you have any questions, and I'm more than happy to answer, anything that you guys may have. So I'm here for you guys. Kev's here for you guys, and we got a good group. So bless up.
Awesome, man. With that being said, if you guys just go ahead and hit him up, he'll be more happy to talk. I'll be more happy to talk too. Just hit us up, and I hope everyone has a good day. I hope everyone has a good Saturday and a good weekend. And take care, guys.
Yeah. Peace out, guys.
All right, peace.
Be good.
All right.
Ciao.
Take care.
Later.